Right, now we're moving on to another A to Z, but there's not as many in this one as there were in the others. Thank God. So, first one of the smaller cases, the other Sesame Street game that goes with numbers, and that is letters. So, a few years afterwards, I was wanting to see what letters was like because I'd got numbers, so bought letters. Um, Same sort of thing. You interact with lots of people like Big Bird and Bert and Ernie and stuff like that. So, and it's in really immaculate condition as well. Absolutely immaculate condition. Like this case itself here is 100% mint. It is mint as mint can be. So really chuffed for that. When that came through, I was really impressed. Now this is my absolute just behind. No, just in front of. Sorry, Escape from Cyber City. Escape from Cyber City is just behind this. But that would probably be my second. This is my absolute first favourite CDI game of all time, which again, Sebastian, aka the Half Blind Gamer, does have a playthrough of on his channel, and that is the absolutely awesome Burn Cycle. Absolutely freaking love this game. 2 pieces. It is it's the best game, and I don't mind saying that, and I would argue that with anyone that wants to question that, but this is the best game on the CDI by far. In fact, it makes the CDI look like a great system, which it is in a way, but it's enough to say that it wasn't that great. But this makes it look absolutely amazing. This game is just so good. It's full motion video, so it's actors. It's not like graphics and stuff you get on the Xbox and stuff. It's proper real people, like you're watching a film. So yeah, they had to get real people to actually act in it, like they were acting in a film, but then they stuck it on as a game, which is again a really cool idea. And basically, the whole point of it is you play as a guy called Soul Cutter, and he has a virus in his head which will detonate in 2 hours. Your job is to kind of destroy the virus before it gets too infected and kills him. So basically, you have to go through different levels, shooting people and stuff, acquiring items and progressing further. And then collecting items to unlock other areas and solve loads and loads of puzzles that are in the game. And his girlfriend, I think it's his girlfriend, Chris, she helps you, but something happens to her right near the beginning of the game, and I'm not going to spoil it, but a lot of you probably already know what happens to her. But yeah, you see her, and then you acquire your spaceship, and then you fly up into the sky, and you have to shoot all these spike balls that come towards you, which is not that easy to do when you're first trying it, but loads of practice and you'll get it. And it just progresses from there, and you go down into the city where you can gamble and you can play games and stuff, and there's loads of puzzles there. You meet a Buddha, again, who throws a load of pieces of jigsaw kind of stuff at you, and you have to kind of rearrange them to form a shape to progress. And you have your own credit card, you have to put credits on in order to play games and gamble and stuff. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I just can't fault it. I cannot fault it in any way. And as a CDI game, that's really saying something. And the great thing is, you obviously get the game itself here, and then on the other side, you actually get a whole massive, like, full-length CD soundtrack featuring like the music from the game, which is such a cool idea. So you've got the game on one side in red, and on the other side in yellow, you have the music. And the music is awesome. The music is proper like adrenaline stuff. It's proper full-paced, fast stuff. With a proper good beat and stuff, so it's awesome. And you also get like obviously the manual, which is there. And there's the Buddha. There's the Buddha. There. And you've also got like a kind of a letter addressed to Soul Cutter to do with the game, which is really cool. But I cannot fault this game in any way, shape or form. I absolutely loved it. And there's also a really funny twist right at the end of the game as well, which made me just howl with laughter, which again I'm not going to spoil, and again if you know what I'm talking about then you'll know. But let's just say that Soul Cutter at the end of the game isn't quite himself. There you go. So you probably got it by that. But it's a fantastic game. I just loved it from start to finish, and I remember completing it and just being like, oh damn, I finished it. Yeah, because I loved it so much. So yeah, get Burn Cycle if you've got a CDI and you don't have it, and if you don't have it already, Burn Cycle, shame on you. And I do have it on the Mac and PC as well. However, because this is quite an old game, it's only compatible with the earlier versions of the PCs, like Windows 95 and like the first sort of Macs they brought out. Because I've got like a MacBook that's like proper advanced and like Windows Vista and stuff. I've never ever been able to play it because it just doesn't work on any of my computers. So pointless me having it. But got it. And just to prove to you that I'm not showing you the same game again. There you go, Mac and PC, and then CDI version. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame that it doesn't actually work. But there you are. Right, next one. Love this game. If I'm totally honest, my 4 favourite games on the CDI would be Burn Cycle, Escape from Cyber City, this game, and another one we're going to get to in a bit called Little Devil. They're my 4 best games on the CDI. This one is so much fun. It's basically Dymo's Quest. It's about a kid that has to go around collecting sweets in order to complete levels. That's all you do. Sounds simple, but it gets trickier the more you do. There's 51 levels, so they get really, really tricky the more you go through. And there's loads of colour, great concepts that are in there, and you just have loads of fun. And the music is awesome. And for those of you out there that don't know, if you've got this game, and I didn't even realise this until someone told me like last year. I was like, I've had this game years and years, and I've only just worked that out. Well, someone told me. But this is obviously the game inside that works in the CDI, but you can also play it as a CD. So you can put it in your CD player, and you can play it as a CD. So I kind of ripped the music from the CD onto my iTunes and stuff. And yeah, I was kind of sitting on the train kind of in 2012 with a soundtrack on there blasting away of a game that was made on the CDI in like 1995. Doesn't say. 1994. It does say. So it sounds quite sad, but because I really like the music, I was just like, sod it, who cares? So that was me last year. Really random. You can tell I'm a gamer when I'm doing things like that. Right. Next one, classic game. You can get it on the Mega Drive and... Whoops! All my games are just falling over because there's so many of them. I can get it on another one as well. Another system. Anyway, Flashback. Classic game. Jumping from ledge to ledge. Playing as a guy. Has to basically make his way through like forests and stuff to progress. Didn't realise the CD was so loose in there because all the things have broken off. But there you go. Great game. Flintstones versus the Jetsons. Time Warp. Had loads and loads of fun on this when I was growing up. Basically what happens is Fred Flintstone and George Jetson get completely swapped around. George Jetson gets thrown into Bedrock to experience Fred's life. And Fred Flintstone gets thrown into the kind of space kind of atmosphere to experience George Jetson's life. And they just get mixed up. It's really cool actually seeing them in each other's places of residence, if you like. So then Barney will ring up thinking it's Fred, and it's actually George that answers, and he's like, whatever you say, Fred. He's like, I'm not Fred, I'm George. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So you just basically go around having fun, exploring different areas. And yeah, just really, really good, fun, interactive game, really. Which again, I'll be playing with my niece when she's old enough. Next one is again another kind of cartoony game done by Hanna-Barbera, which again has got Fred Flintstone in it. And that is Cartoon Carnival. Now this is what the video cartridge made good use out of. Basically what you do, you've got loads of different levels that you can choose that are all fronted by a different Hanna-Barbera character. So you've got Scooby-Doo that has one where you have to do a load of mazes to get in from A to B. George Jetson does what's called the space race, where you have to kind of fly around in these little kind of hovercraft and kind of dodge meteorites and stuff. Yogi Bear has his own game where you've got to basically find pairs of sounds that match. You've got Huckleberry Hound that has like presents that you've got to find again of pairs of each, and they get harder. Fred Flintstone has one where you have to kind of basically run around with kind of a net, and you have to basically catch all the balloons. And Top Cat has one where you have to... what's Top Cat's one? Top Facts. That's right. So you get asked loads of different random questions. You have to basically answer it with the correct answer out of multiple choice. So there you go. There's an insight into the game. And basically, each level that you complete, you get a letter that's to spell Cartoon Carnival. And once you've spelt the entire Cartoon Carnival words, if you've got the video cartridge inside, it actually takes you into about, I'd say about 3 minutes worth of the cartoon. You don't see the whole thing because they're a bit tacky and a bit, what's the word? What's the word? Cheap like that. That wasn't the word I was thinking of, but stingy, that's the word, like that. But you see about 3 minutes of a proper cartoon, and then it finishes when you're just getting into it as well. Funny that. But there you go. Cartoon Carnival. Now, some of you may know that there's a Mario game on the CDI called Hotel Mario, which is this one. Nothing to shout about before you get excited if you've not heard of it before. Basically, there was a massive debate, what's the word? There was a massive issue with Philips and Nintendo, because Nintendo were trying to work out how they could get a CD add-on onto their Super Nintendo, and it never quite got off the ground. So what they did was they sold some of their rights to Philips to market some of their games on the Philips CDI, because it had obviously the CD slot, which is what Nintendo wanted for their SNES at the time. And because they couldn't quite get theirs off the ground, they then sold some of their games to Philips to put on theirs, because they had the CD slot kind of thing. So this is one of the ones that the CDI or Philips kind of got off Nintendo to put on their console, so they could market Mario on there. Because I suppose at the time they were like, oh, Mario's so big in the gaming industry, for us to get a Mario game on our system would be great. So they obviously went for it. But it's nothing to shout about, so don't get excited. Hotel Mario, I've got the soundtrack on my iTunes again because I'm sad like that. It's basically, you go through a series of hotels, hence the name, and you basically have to go through and shut all the doors. That's all you do. You just go and shut all the doors and then you're done. But it gets harder because you get caterpillars and Goombas and stuff that jump around, and while you're closing the doors, they come up behind you and open them again. So when you get to the end and you're like, I've closed them all. Oh no, wait, they've just gone and opened another one right at the other corner of the hotel. You've got to then go back up the elevators and then get it again. So yeah, the music's alright. I've got a gameplay video of it again on my channel if you're interested, if you want a bit of an insight as to what it's like. But honestly, it's nothing to shout about, so don't get excited. If you want a Mario game, you've got Super Mario World on the SNES, you've got Mario Kart 64 on the Nintendo 64. Yeah, honestly, it's nothing to shout about. This one is quite rare, I think, because when I got it off eBay, it was a fair price, and it was the only one that was on there, and that one that I got was from the American eBay. It wasn't even on the UK one. So this is Learn with Sooty, again, that I'm going to use with my niece. Back in the day when Matthew Corbett was doing the Sooty episodes, they also did some educational videos as well as the actual main sort of fun episodes. And they had like Start to Read, they did one about safety, like on the road, they did one about learning to count, another one was about science. And the Learn to Read one, just the Learn to Read one, made it onto the CDI as what's called a video CD. So it was almost like, it's basically like a film for the CD, because you can get films for it. You can actually get Top Gun, Star Wars, for the CD. They don't come in DVDs, they come like this, as a video CD, and you put it in your CDI with the video cartridge, and you can just watch the film straight off. But the CDI doesn't play DVDs, it plays video CDs, so there's only a certain amount of ones you can get for the CDI. But nowadays, who's going to bother? We've got DVD players and Blu-ray players, but back then, you had video CDs. So Learn with Sooty, Start to Read made it onto the CDI. Obviously, it came out as a video, as a VHS as well, so most people went for that option, whereas I kind of got both. Oops. So, anyway. Came in great condition, but it's just, as far as I'm aware, it's quite rare. So, let's Learn with Sooty, Start to Read.